My best friends, he'd watch porn constantly, constantly. He looked amazing at the table. We had a little bite to eat. Why don't you let us come say hello?
But Ron, did you ever think you'd still be in porn?
No.
In porn
I was going to say
now.
that.
Yeah.
Get you at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And look who's going to bring my phone back.
Your phone?
Well, Happy New Year to all of you. It's 2023. We're back, and this happens to be the actual very first video that we're putting up. Even though we've already recorded everything we were doing for this week, edited, put it out, and then this happened. And this happened right over the weekend, and I didn't get the acknowledgement till Sunday off of TMZ on this. This was like the LA Times on here. So looks like we're getting a finalization to one of the trials for this year. We'll know officially on the 17th. But before we start, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share. Thank you for those who have subscribed, liked, and share our programming on all of our social media platforms. Those on the other platforms, you hit that rumble, you hit that flame. Thank you. We really, truly appreciate it. Thanks for being there. And 2023 is going to be even bigger for us, even though we're going to have a lot of YouTube issues this year, which we already have one video that's been age restricted, and we'll discuss that in another video. But this came up over the weekend. We've been covering a couple of trials in the porn industry, and one of them was a particular heinous trial that was going on, and it was delayed for quite some time. You're familiar with the adult star Ron Jeremy? Many years, many films on there. There were over 30 accusations of drape that basically, that's been put in here, and this was brought to trial. And as we were going through the processes and through the delays, because of COVID and many other things, then we started to get a situation where Ron's lawyers were saying that he is not himself. And basically, we think that he might be incompetent to stand trial on there. Even the jailers, the guys in the jail, are saying that, yeah, he's not acting normal. So a competency hearing came across, and examinations. We got the defense psychological examination, and they said he's incompetent. And then we were waiting for the state to do theirs, which it looks like they just finally came out at the end of last week coming into this week. But what we're seeing is former porn star, and this is off the LA Times, former porn star Ron Jeremy to be declared incompetent to stand trial for drape. Former adult star Ron Jeremy is suffering from a severe dementia and will be declared incompetent to stand trial on multiple charges of later this month. According to an LA County prosecutor, in an email obtained by the Times, Jeremy, whose legal name is Ronald Hyatt, was first charged in June of 2020 with draping 4 women he had met in West Hollywood bars and clubs. The case quickly ballooned as dozens of women came forward claiming the one-time porn king had abused women for decades at parties and adult film conventions or on movie sets. Jeremy, 69, was later indicted on more than 30 counts of sexual assault stemming from allegations made by 20 women, with some of the alleged crimes dating to the 1990s. But weeks before Jeremy's trial was set to begin last year, his defense attorney, Stuart Goldfarb, walked into a Los Angeles courtroom and said that his client did not recognize him. In an email obtained by the LA Times this week, LA County Deputy District Attorney Paul Thompson said mental health experts called on by prosecutors and Jeremy's defense teams have determined he suffers from severe dementia and there is no evidence he's faking his symptoms. As a result of the agreement of the experts, the defendant will be declared incompetent to stand trial. His prognosis for improvement is not good. Thompson wrote, "If he does not improve, we will not be able to try him for his crimes. Because criminal proceedings are suspended as long as he is incompetent, we cannot get a guilty plea from him or discuss other measures to get justice for the victims in this case." Thompson and Goldfarb declined to comment on Friday. Jeremy, who has denied all wrongdoings, is scheduled to appear in a Hollywood courtroom January 17th, when he will be formally declared incompetent to aid in his own defense. Thompson said in the email, "Although competency to stand trial is fluid, meaning a mental incompetency defender can later be found capable of standing trial after receiving medication or therapy over time, dementia is progressive, degenerative illness from which Jeremy is unlikely to recover." According to the email, the experts reached their conclusion based on the review of medical documents and interviews with Jeremy, his relatives, and several of the LA County Sheriff's deputies who interacted with him while in custody. Some of Jeremy's relatives apparently suspected he suffered from dementia before his 2020 arrest, which was the catalyst that started the process that resulted in his driver's license being taken away, Thompson wrote in that same email. Once declared incompetent, Jeremy will probably be placed in a state-run hospital. Leanna Young, a former British adult star who first publicized the accused Jeremy of assaulting her in an interview with the New York Times in 2020, said she was frustrated to learn that there were concerns Jeremy had dementia long before the prosecutors brought charges against him. "My first reaction, I was kind of numb," she said. They were aware of his condition before getting all of us involved. They were well aware he had dementia, so I'm very disappointed that they didn't solve that bit before letting us go on that emotional journey for 2.5 years. Greg Rising, a spokesman for the District Attorney's Office, said prosecutors were unaware of the severity of Jeremy's illness at the time the charges were brought. Although his attorney expressed some concern for his declined faculties, we believed him to be competent at the time of the filing based upon the interviews we conducted with him, among other reasons, Rising said. "We have no records at the time of the filing that he had a dementia diagnosis." Young said she was wearing a bikini at an industry party at a former House of Blues on Sunset Strip in 2000 when Jeremy came up behind her, shoved against her the table, and forced himself on her. The encounter lasted only seconds, according to Young, who said she fought him off quickly. After Young spoke with the Times, she said that she was contacted by the Sheriff's Department investigators and later called to testify against Jeremy at a grand jury hearing. Young said she didn't regret coming forward, as she does believe the wave of allegations against Jeremy sparked a conversation about sexual abuse in the adult film industry, but she also is concerned without a conviction Jeremy may be absolved in many eyes of his fans. "I'm going down to public opinion now, and public opinion has looked at Ron like a god," she said. "It could be an indication to other predators or viewers of pornography that they can get away with such crimes." I really don't think so on that. And I think she's wrong because the way the Me Too movement has gone on here, I mean, even not saying Ron is guilty or innocent, but there have been other men who have been accused of situations like this. Some of them in the Hollywood sense, some of them in the sports, some of them in college, that have been accused, and basically the evidence was turned around and found that they weren't guilty. And this is the problem with this. And the thing about it is, for quite some time, and there's one video I showed from a while back that showed it looked like he might have been drunk, he might have been high, but it looked like he wasn't playing with a full deck at the time. And the scary part is, how long has he been playing with dementia? That's the question of the day. How many years? Because the dementia can stretch out for years. He's 69 years old, going to be hitting 70. You know, he might have been playing around with this for 15 years. You don't know that. And the thing about it is the district attorney rushed through this to push this case out without testing him. They saw that there was something there, but they pushed it aside and didn't even think to do it. To just, hey, listen, let him go see a psychiatrist. Let you know, get a medical professional in there to see if he's competent for trial. If you have the signs, make sure you're right, because you're going to be dragging all these women into the courtroom, and then he's found incompetent. You know, you're just going to brush them aside. You know, their emotional feelings and the stress that they've been going through for the last 2.5 years. See, here's the problem with a lot of these cases, and this is the problem in our judicial system. A lot of these cases are rushed through the courts, and basically some of them, you know, the evidence doesn't outweigh for the case to go forward, or something like this where, you know, a person has dementia, but yet, you know, the DA says, well, he may have it, he may not have it, and let's go forward with the case. If the district attorney took a little bit more fair time to see whether he's competent or incompetent to handle this trial, we would not be at the point where the witnesses have gone to an emotional standpoint where now justice will not be served if he was guilty. And the reason I say if he's guilty, because he didn't have his day in court, and the women didn't have the day in their court. It's, you know, fair and balanced on their facts and evidence to the situation. So we'll see what happens on the 16th, the 17th of January, when trial resumes on this. Most likely he'll probably be sent to an institution because from what we're reading in here, it's continuing to decline. His mental faculties are continuing to decline. So, you know, tell me in the comments below your thoughts. What do you think of this whole situation on there? And I know a lot of you have commented on all of our Ron Jeremy videos on there, and I thank you for that. Please continue to comment on them. Be nice. I know some of you have put in there some real nasty comments on there, and unfortunately the YouTube gods look at that and they push that aside. I have no control on that. So once again, go to comment, subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for tuning in. Happy New Year once again, 2023. Bye-bye now.